Well, welcome back to another episode of Welcome back to our first episode of.
First episode, yeah.
What should we call it? Well, it's only gonna happen during AIM, so it's like it should be something like Ready, Aim, Fire.
Ready and Fire.
Ready,
That's
Aim,
right.
Fire.
That's the name
All
of
right.
this podcast.
So
that
we're
we
just
have.
gonna talk about current events today.
The most current of events.
So let's pull up.
Let's see what we got
current
going on.
events. Should junk food come with warning labels? Absolutely not.
It's completely healthy, and we think people should feed their kids junk food.
Honestly, because
not-
it creates an environment of safety.
Yeah, it's not even junk, honestly. It's just
Because
healthy.
we know a guy, Joel Stanley, who only gets feed quinoa and rice
Quinoa, yes.
for every meal.
So much quinoa.
So much quinoa, and he's depressed. He's not happy.
He's not doing well. Not at all.
He's not Batman anymore.
He's not.
You know?
He was once that guy.
Let's do a 10-second moment of silence for Joel Stanley.
They're still deciding though when there's a side or
So this new hurricane, right?
Yeah, Hurricane
It's crazy.
Helene, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about hurricane.
Oh, the
Helene.
new one.
Morton, whatever his name is.
I
I think it's Morton.
We'll call it Morton, yeah. No, it's
I mean, what a name,
yeah,
honestly.
it's a great name.
Great
but
name.
Not, symbolizes horrible things.
Horrible
You know,
things, but it's like
we don't condone.
Like, do you see it's like mathematically like reached its limit for how big a hurricane could be?
It's literally the worst. So,
It's amazing.
hoping everyone's safe out there in Florida.
Obviously, we have several viewers.
In Florida. We just want them to be okay.
Uh-huh.
Weekly student news quiz: LeBron, Batman, and Baby Hippo.
Let's talk about how those connect to each other. So obviously, the Batman and Baby Hippo very easily connected, right?
Yeah.
Baby Hippo and LeBron. Oh, Lebanon, not LeBron.
I thought you would catch that.
So yeah, Lebanon, Batman, and Baby Hippo. Now that's a bit more complicated. So,
Yes, much
Lebanon,
more
if you don't know,
complicated.
is a Middle Eastern country.
Middle
It's very
Eastern.
impoverished, very terrorist happy. So how does Batman contribute to that? I see Lebanon as Gotham. Do you?
I can envision that, yeah, and I think that Batman kind of serves as a idea of fear, so the criminals in Lebanon can have that idea that Batman's in the shadows always watching.
Yeah. And then like the police force, obviously, over in Lebanon. If you don't know, it's named Baby Hippo. So it's like the struggle between Batman and Baby Hippo, right? And
Yep.
it's a tale as old as time. We've seen it countless times.
Countless,
I
really.
mean, we've seen it with Jack the Ripper versus the British Bulbies, am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it
Does
keeps
anybody in
happening.
here know anybody that was affected? You guys have already been asked.
Yeah.
It's current events.
Current events. So let's go on to the next one.
So let's
See, let's discuss. I like let's discuss.
let's discuss. All right, let's
Love,
discuss.
hate, or fear it. TikTok just changed America. I don't think so.
So what do you think about TikTok?
I think it's Chinese controlled. We all know that. It was in our government systems, it's in our military. It's bad for us, honestly. It's brain rot. I mean,
Right. I think it has lowered the attention spans. I think that's a bad thing for our
thing.
society.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I can look.
I do think it can spread more awareness about certain
Probably
things.
not.
News, current events like we're doing right
I mean,
now.
this is how we get our news now.
Yes,
It's like
yes, exactly.
it's TikTok, which is sad. But I think if we use it in a responsible manner, it's much better. But people scroll on it for tens of hours a day, and it's very bad. Very
It
bad.
can be very unhealthy for certain people, for sure. You have to
Oh,
have
well,
control.
let's go on to this one. Instagram, Lebanon, and baseball record. Now
This is different.
that's an easy one to relate to. As everybody knows, Lebanon is the biggest Instagram account in the world, right? Am I correct in that?
Massive. Yeah.
I think it's over 1 billion people at this point. And so they also have one of the worst baseball teams.
That's true.
I think they're like
not great, not great.
I think they're like and like what is it?
It's probably like 25.
25,000 probably.
I think so. Yeah.
25,000 losses.
It's a rare thing
It's
to
a
happen.
rare thing. Their baseball record, it's outstanding, honestly.
They could definitely do better, and I can see them developing
I
if they
could
get
see
better
them
players.
getting a new coach sometime soon.
A new coach would definitely help them a lot.
Yeah, right now they just have a Baby Hippo as their.
Yeah, which is not helping at all. They should-
It's not.
Lebanon, if you're watching, please.
Please get some help.
Are parents stressed out? Yes. And
I
here's
mean,
why.
everybody is, but
Everyone is. Yeah, everyone is stressed out. And why? Because Lebanon can't get their crap together.
it's because Lebanon, honestly. And I think as we progress through the decades, right, we've seen this happen time and time again. As we get more technology, our stress levels go higher. So I think what we need is Lebanon to just bomb us back to the Stone Age.
Honestly, Lebanon, bomb us.
So we'll move on now. What teenagers are saying about parents paying their sorry, frog in my throat.
Yeah, I'm
What
sick.
teenagers are saying about parents paying their children to read? Dude, in kindergarten, right? I was reading Bob books for free. In first grade, I was reading higher level books for free. Second grade, higher level books for free. Third grade, started Harry Potter. Love to read. Fourth grade, Percy Jackson. Love to read it, you know? We'd love to see it. Fifth grade, that was during lockdown. And, you know, just kept reading. You know, I didn't really go into like the technology part of that. I just kind of went back to my roots.
See, it's just, you can't force someone to read.
If you're
because-
paying someone to read, it's a job.
Exactly.
And
they
we
have
need
to like it.
we need to have children love to read.
Exactly. See, you just gotta give them a good book.
Honestly.
You can't put them on a textbook, an infographic newsletter. You have to give them something good, something they'll enjoy. Give them something that they like. And then that will fuel their reading ability.
Honestly. I mean, it's pretty simple, you know.
It's pretty simple stuff.
Pretty-
so,
pretty
no,
easy.
they shouldn't really pay them.
No.
Yeah. What's going on in this graph?
Well, let me describe to you. Imagine a toothbrush, right? Now, completely forget about the toothbrush because it look in no way simple.
Not at all, no.
Imagine the Death Star.
The Death Star. It just looks just like it, I promise.
I was thinking more like the ray that the Death Star shoots out,
Imagine the ray that the Death Star shoots out.
right? It kind of looks like that, and we're not actually sure because it's a temperature graph, so it's gonna wobble a little bit. The highs, obviously, these are the highs, these are the lows. As we can see, it's trending upwards. The highs are going way up, which is bad since it's the end of the summer, and yet the heat is still going up.
Yeah, Las
What do
Vegas
you
is
think-
going through it.
What do you think's causing that?
Probably Lebanon. I think their baseball team migrating just like down and down and down has caused the elevation temperatures to like climax.
It's got to be that, right? Like, it's so simple. Let's move on to another current event. This one happened September 17th. Celebrity endorsements, right? Say you own I don't know, toilet paper business, right? Yeah, that's a bad example.
It's a very bad thing.
Say you own an umbrella business, right? And umbrellas, obviously, the more people you can get to use your umbrella, the more recognition you're going to get.
That's
okay?
right. That's right.
The product, it's really simple. So what you really need is you need to differentiate between yourself and other people, right? So celebrity endorsements is one way to go with that. Honestly, if Emma Watson were to walk by me with an umbrella, I would buy that umbrella. Would you?
Possibly.
What's like the celebrity that if they were using an umbrella, you would go for it?
Well, I'll tell you right now. I don't know.
You don't.
But listen, I do. I
Is it
remember-
not Henry Cavill? Is he not going?
It could be, but keep in mind that recently there was a commercial for on YouTube. There was an ad for a deodorant, and the person endorsing that was Sydney Sweeney, most recently known as.
Yeah.
Need I say more? She's an actress, and people love her, and she's on that ad, and that's why the ad's popular.
See, deodorant is one of those things where it's like, I don't want to know about that. Like, I'll go into CVS, right, and I'll buy some deodorant. Because I'm going to buy it off the smell. I'm not going to buy it off celebrity recognition.
That's right. See, it depends on what you're endorsing, and it depends on who you choose to endorse. How are they endorsing it?
That's a good point. That's a good point. So let's move away from current events, I think. We
What do you
discussed-
think?
I want to get your opinion on this. What is the best animated show of all time? Because I have some thoughts.
Okay, we're talking all time.
All time.
That's a very, very serious.
All time.
Like-
You can go from Family Guy all the way up to SpongeBob. Like, there's just a wide range.
When it comes to comedic effect,
Yes.
narrative,
Let's start with comedian. Let's start with comedian.
Okay.
I think there's one answer to this.
Go for it.
Like, what's the most funny character? Or what's the most fun animation? It's gotta be Family Guy.
I
mean, you
think
have 20.
so.
You have like 22 seasons of
and
just
they're
jokes.
they're just chaos. It's amazing.
It's great, and it's of
and
course
some of it's offensive.
it's all of it's offensive. I mean, but it's funny.
It's funny.
It's
and that's
funny
all
because it's
that
offensive.
matters.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way that like it should be at its 22nd season. Like it doesn't need to be.
They're dragging.
But I think
they're
that's
dragging,
kind of funny.
But I think it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I think overall, with comedic, narrative, action, all of that, I think that Avatar: The Last Airbender is the best animated show.
It's got to be right. I would say it's the second though.
What do you put ahead of that?
I'm gonna have to put Gravity Falls.
So why do you think that?
Because it just personally for me, I'm not saying it's the same for everybody. For Brody, it's obviously Avatar, you know. And I thought that for a while. I thought it was the greatest. and I'll explain why I thought it was greatest. With Iroh, it just has the best characters.
The development was
Iroh,
amazing for each
the
character.
action. I mean,
The action was
can you get better than that?
Can
The
you
world
get
building.
better?
The world building.
The world building
amazing.
was the most excellent thing to ever exist.
But I gotta go back to this. It's like what just hits a chord with you, you know? Like Avatar, hit a chord, right? But then Gravity Falls walked in and was like, hold my beer, and he hit the entire piano. It's like he played every key perfectly.
Right.
Okay. Ops. So
They don't
basically,
understand current events like we do.
honestly. So basically, what Gravity Falls brings to the table is it's just it's a world in which
Keep talking.
there's a world in which men become adventurers, and women can find their place in that world, and you can imagine yourself in that world very easily. The characters are amazing. Grunkle Stan, hilarious, right? We have the comedic effect with Grunkle Stan. Then we have like the more sciencey aspect, which I'm a big fan of, right? And then we have just the absolute craziness, which is something that I strive for, because just completely out of.
I guess chaos is a key factor of your personality.
Yes. And then of course we have the greatest villain of all time, Bill Cipher. I mean,
That's a crazy take. Greatest film of all time.
greatest villain of all time. I'll say it.
I mean,
You
What-
put Heath Ledger's Joker in a room with it. You can put anything. You can put Voldemort. You can put any other dark, evil person, villain, in there. Bill Cipher comes out on top in terms of strength, in terms of charisma, in terms of everything.
I'm not gonna argue with you
Mhm.
because I know that you won't change your standpoint.
It's because
But I'm just gonna let you know that I think differently.
Okay, who do you think is the most powerful villain?
It's
of
hard
all
to
time?
say. Powerful.
Yeah, we're
Most
going
powerful.
Okay, let's just say who's the best villain.
See, that's a tough thing to just like decide.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go to the roots like Darth Vader.
You can.
His perfect design, his
Because
flawless character
you
development.
could say that he inspired every other
He
villain.
could have inspired every other villain.
Yeah.
And the hallway scene in Rogue, where he just decimates everyone. It's so beautifully made.
Yeah.
And I honestly think he's definitely one of the best. But when it comes to all time, I just don't know. It's hard to say. And you clearly have your solidified character, and I can respect that.
Okay, I'll say, who do I think is the worst villain of all time? The worst villain in the best show of all time has to be Ozai. Right?
So why?
We don't see him do anything. Like he doesn't start the war. He doesn't really finish it. Like coming out on top. Which I always like the trope of where the villain wins.
Right.
I think it's a good twist because we're so used to the villains winning or the villains losing at the end, and our heroes have to be like always winning. I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
Because in life, that's not true.
If you've seen the movie No Country for Old Men,
It's true.
The villain actually kind of wins in a way. The hero of the protagonist, spoiler alert, dies.
So to kind of branch off on that, Joel and I, we watched No Country for Old Men.
Go for it.
Did not understand it at all.
Why not? Why would you not?
Because we seen all these things, right? Where it's like one of the best movies of all time, right? We watch it. I mean, it was good. Story was fine, but we didn't really understand it. I guess.
Would you not understand?
Like the point of it.
Well, it's just look at the title. It's No Country for Old Men. The police guy retires.
Yeah.
Because he realizes that he's not made for this. It's not like it was in the past.
Oh, by the way, great
100
actor.
years.
Great actor.
Fantastic.
Great actor.
Great actors in all the movie. Honestly, it's just a great movie.
Honestly, did you see like the Anton is his name? The crazy
Anton
guy?
Chigurh, yeah.
400 psychologists watched like 1,000 different movies to figure out the best crazy person, and Anton was
He's one of the
number
best.
He was
Javier
number
Bardem
one.
played him excellently.
Yeah.
And it's just a great movie. I think you need to do a rewatch of it because it's really something I like.
I liked the fact that there was no music in
No
it.
music. It's just it builds
It gives
tension
it a
constantly.
really, really eerie feel.
It's extremely eerie. And the scene where he's like behind the door and like he's waiting for him, he's about to shoot him, and like
And it's the wrong door.
it's the wrong door. Like it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
I can understand how you might not understand it your first time around. So,
I'll have to watch it again.
but anyways, I think in Avatar, I think Azula does a much better job of being a constant villain in that
Exactly.
story.
I think Azula is the villain. She's what Ozai should have been. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I understand Ozai's, off pulling all the strings and everything, but it's like, at that point, are you really a villain or are you just a puppet master?
Exactly. I think Azula truly shows like evil and how she breaks down at the end of the episode.
Exactly. And all we know about Ozai, right? We see him do some bad things, right? We see him scar Zuko.
Yep.
We see him attack Aang at the end.
Yep.
And
He's trying
do we
to-
really ever see anything else?
No. All we know is that he's a power-hungry guy that does bad things.
And we know Iroh doesn't like him. And I think that obviously carries a lot because,
Iroh's a great character.
Iroh may be the best character. of all
Probably the
cinema.
best character in all of cinema.
All of, at least animated. Because I'm thinking there may be like one or two characters that were just acted out better in real life. Just because, it's easier to act in real life than animated. I think he's so, like, wise and like, broken.
The
I think that's so
episode
good.
where he sings and he cries.
Honestly, that's a
so
sad
good.
story,
So good.
That's a good one, yeah. So, going back to the villains, right? You never gave us your answer. What do you think? Who do you think's the best villain of all time?
Well, honestly, it's got to be either Darth Vader because of his impact on
Yes.
the ideas of a villain,
Mm-hmm.
or even Anton because he is just so good. Listen. He's the perfect example of a psychopath in any cinematography we've seen across the board.
It's true.
One of the best. And his just, whenever he's on the camera, that he's about to do something horrible, but you don't know what.
Yeah, he has a point.
And it's just, he's cool, he's collected, but he's scary. And he's just not afraid to do anything that he needs to.
Yeah.
Now, I know you haven't seen this one, but I'm sure some people have. Homelander from the show on
I've seen clips.
Boys.
And I've talked to
Homelander is
Miller
an
enough.
excellent villain, and I think in season 4 they really showed that in this episode where he goes into the hospital to raise them, and like if you've seen it, but it's just he's excellent, a great actor all around.
See, my thing is I think that the bad Superman trope has been
I
like
understand.
so overused.
I understand, but I
Just
feel
think
like
about it, we had 2 shows come out around the same time with that, Invincible and The Boys.
Invincible's good.
And it's like, I get it, but like, I've never been a big fan of Superman either.
Well, yeah, but I just think The Boys. Of course, The Boys is a parody off of basic
Yes.
DC, Marvel like hero movies, and like they do that well. I think Homelander's a great example of just like a man that was not raised to be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
He's just broken, and I think they
Was he
show
more
that.
raised to be a weapon than a hero?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He was experimented on.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, he was experimented on and tortured basically, and they basically just use him. He's like an asset just in the world.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying, you're saying Anton is the best villain of all time, or Darth Vader,
I could probably.
or Homelander?
I could stick by that.
Could you stick by any of those 3?
Yeah, I could probably stick by those. I think those are all solid choices.
Do you think the weakest of all of those choices is Homelander?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yes, I think Anton can definitely outclass.
Okay, yeah. Sorry to cut you off here, but I just had a good idea. Maybe it's Scar from The Lion King.
Okay, what gives you that?
So, one, we talking about, like with Anton, like the presence that he puts out, the tension. Whenever Scar's on screen, you're locked in. You're paying attention because whatever he says, even though he has a few lines or whatever, every single word he does causes great impact.
Yeah, I mean, from the moment we see him, he's just scary. Like when the bird. He tries to kill him, and he's scary, and he's just in his dark cave, figuring out sticks and bones. Like, who is this guy, and why is he so creepy?
Yeah, and easily one of the smartest villains of all time.
That is true. Very.
Like I'd say maybe, I don't know. Like there's some smart villains out there, but then it's like obviously you go to DeVoe,
course.
from The Flash, because that's his big thing is that he's smart. But I never thought he was that smart.
He just predicted a lot. He had a lot of predictions going on.
Yeah, he wasn't naturally smart, I'll say that. So naturally smart Scar orchestrated every event perfectly to a T. Only thing he couldn't control was Nyla meeting
Pure
Mufasa.
coincidence.
Yeah,
That's purely what it was. And
Pure.
honestly, I think another part of it was the greed that got to him with trying to conquer even more than he could, bite off more than he could chew. But yeah, I think in a lot of movies too, villains would have won if not for just like either
Greed,
of
yeah.
course plot armor or greed
Greed,
or
yeah.
pure coincidence.
Like we look at Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
An entire empire of thousands of ships, thousands of soldiers, right? And then we have like 100 rebels against them.
Exactly.
They should be able to blow them up with one TIE fighter.
That's right.
honestly.
That's right. That's right.
It's like it's so dumb that they're
It's
an
just-
actual threat.
Yeah, I mean, like the idea that Luke was just able to go in and just destroy everything they built up at that point. I mean, they had foreshadowed the Empire as this scary, unstoppable force.
But we never really see that. They can't hit for crap, right? That's bad.
That's the classic trope. The soldiers can't hit.
But I think that's the stupid idea.
Yeah. That's quite stupid.
Yeah.
Got any more ideas on the pot?
In terms of villains,
Well, whenever. We only have a bit longer.
how much?
It's 11:09.
Oh, we got like 6 minutes. Well, let's talk. Let's take a 360. Just do like a random, category generator.
Okay, random category turn. If we can do
Let's
that.
see what it brings up. We'll,
And this channel, no cuts, of course, because
Yep.
we're too lazy to do that.
too lazy. Don't know how.
Yeah. Okay. Category game. Yep.
So,
Oh, this is different. Sorry, it's actually a game.
category.
Perfect. Okay, this is just gonna give us a category. Spin the category. Food.
Food.
Because we're gonna talk about.
You
You don't want to do food?
Let's do one more. Let's do one more.
Okay. We'll eliminate.
Because,
food.
second time. You always have to just spin it twice.
Candies.
No, one more time. Third time's
Just one more time.
I'm not feeling candies right now.
I think 3 times is a
Yeah, whatever the third is, we
healthy
always have to do it.
amount,
Yes.
Clothes.
All right. Okay, we can talk about clothes.
Let's talk about your clothes. What's the stand?
Okay. Well, as you know, this is Senator Joe Johnson warm-up shirt, and it has stain on it, sealer from this morning. So
Because as you know from his previous videos, he is a
construction first guy, So it smells really good. And then I got my black shorts on. I have 5 pairs of the exact same black shorts from Amazon Basics, and I've worn them probably every day for the last 4 years.
his outfits are quite simple.
They're quite simple, but they get the job done.
They get the job done. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So can we talk about the downgrading in clothing?
In what way?
So we start the 1900s, right?
Mm-hmm.
In suits and ties.
It's very formal.
Very
Nice,
formal.
yes.
One could say better than today. And then World War I happened, right? And then we go through a transition period where it's a little bit less formal, And then we exit World War II, and we get what I like to call the classic suit, where it's just the jacket, the pants, and the tie.
Very nice,
We
very
transition out of the vest, I think.
I truly like without vest. Honestly, I think it's nice and a little bit more casual.
I do too. It's casual, but it's
it's
formal.
formal still. That's all.
And then I would have to say it's really in the 60s and 70s with all the hippies going on, where they transition away from the suits, which
develops
sucks,
a lot. And I like the 70s outfits a lot. I like the jackets.
Really?
I like the pants.
He likes the flamboyant,
I like not the flamboyant per se, but like the more,
the brighter colors.
I guess.
Okay, like the
maybe.
flowy.
Yeah, because we kept such a monotone color choice before.
Yeah, I
now we're
guess.
changing things up.
Well, because we have better technology, so we can create better clothing.
Like when I think of 80s though, I think outsiders. I think slick back
Michael
hair.
Jackson. I
You think Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson had a very interesting style choice.
I think too. But it's like a lot of people look that way.
Yeah.
I think perm, obviously. Perms are big.
So Augie here, for a while, he chose to wear formal clothing
I did.
to a point
Yes.
to school almost every day.
I would say kindergarten through probably like 3rd grade, and then a little bit in 7th, probably like halfway through 7th, through like halfway through 8th, and then we're back to
So tell me, why did you stop?
Well, it comes to a point where it's just like not fun anymore. Because it's like when you feel so good for so long, because it's like you're all dressed up, right? Then it sort of becomes a chore, So I have to tie your tie every morning, and you can't sleep in that much.
It's true.
So I'd say if school were later, I probably would.
That's completely understandable.
Yes, I would honestly prefer have like uniforms. I think it creates a better environment for learning.
It can be healthier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you lose the individualisticness that makes everybody.
Which can
awesome.
change people. It can make them less unique, less cool.
Which, yes, but I think chaos would also thrive in order, you know?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we've been 25 minutes, and we have around 2 minutes left in our class period.
So we're probably going to wrap it up.
I think we're going to
Do you have
wrap
any
it
final
up.
thoughts on any of the things we discussed?
I
Current
just
events?
think if you guys have any statements, please.
Please put them in the comments.
Please leave a
Honestly,
comment, of
we'll make
course.
sure to talk about them Thursday.
And we'll discuss everything that you guys tell us to discuss.
Yeah,
Simple stuff.
we
simple
take
stuff.
suggestions, you know. Basically, if it's a category that interests us, we'll talk about it.
We will just make crap up.
Honestly, which is basically what we did all day today.
That's right.
And I think we learned a lot. You know,
Well, this has been the podcast with the Ready, Aim, Fire.
ready, aim,